Welcome to the Sabrosa podcast, your underground hub.
Welcome to another episode of the Sabrosa podcast. We are here with a very special guest, guys.
Yeah. Need bells or something.
We need we do have like drops, but I don't. You know what? Drops coming soon, y'all. I need to start using them. But Jay Thursday in the building, y'all.
What up, man? Thank you for having me. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody watching.
If you don't know, you better tap in. My listeners, my loyal listeners, tap in. I know a lot of artists. Y'all definitely watch my show because y'all want to know who got what's going on. Tap in. So let's get right into it to see who is Jay Thursday, you might ask. What does he do? Why is he on the Sabrosa podcast?
Threads, if we being honest.
Threads, yo.
Threads is how, yeah.
Can we talk about it, though?
Yeah, we was talking about it a little bit before, but yeah, just the number of people that I see, it's been a trend on DJ Threads where somebody comes on and they're like, I need a DJ for October 22nd. DM me if you're interested. And all the DJs are like, where is it? How many hours? What am I playing? Like,
Mad
you've left all the
responses.
details out, but there's like 107 replies. Like, I can do it. And it's like, you don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah. That actually happened to me one time. I put out like a story and I was like, I need a DJ. That was for last year. And I had like so many DJs, but like the one that I ended up going with, he ended up canceling like the day before.
Yeah.
And then I'm
the
like,
problem.
damn, I said no to mad people.
Right.
Like,
yeah, that's the hard part. I mean, I try to tell people all the time too, like the more communicative you are with the DJ, the more incentivized and like ready they'll be to do your event. Like,
I ended up getting one, but I mean, it ended up working out. But
hey,
I'm
good.
just saying, like, what if it what if I
it
didn't know people or whatever? But whatever, that's
it happens like that, yo. So that we was talking earlier about standing on business. Sometimes as a DJ, you got to be willing to let the place crash and burn so that they can remember your value.
No facts.
I've had a manager, I've told a manager before, it's cool if you want me to stop. I can go ahead and unplug and you could jump back here and you could play the music.
Yep.
And he backed off. It's like, all
Standing
right.
on business.
remember why I'm here.
Remember, because it's like, I have a job to do, sir. Like, fall back, stand back.
Absolutely.
So for those of you that don't know, you do DJ.
Yeah.
So that is one of the hats that Jay Thursday wears, ladies and gentlemen. He does DJ at a big scale, if I might ask. So what are some, DJ gigs that you've gotten that you might want to brag about a little bit?
Yeah, brag about. Yeah, it's funny too because I don't get to do this often. So and one of the things I'm always cautious of is like not sounding like I'm bragging.
No,
but I feel like on a podcast this is like the forum I'm supposed to talk about these things. But I don't know. I've done a lot of stuff. Sometimes I'd be forgetting stuff that I've done. But the things that came to mind as soon as you asked me is definitely the festival, the Meadows Festival. That was the biggest moment of my whole music career for sure. And I also think about like really cool gigs I got to do, like American Dream Mall, like the Nickelodeon park. Like,
oh, that's cool.
I DJ'd that. That was like really cool. My kids got to come. They saw me and like, got the fake SpongeBob head on. Like, that was really cool. And then also like, the kind of like the nightlife, like the club side, always just having those underground type spots. Like at the beginning for me, a lot of it was the close friends I had coming to party with us because I was new to DJing. But then along the way, I'm meeting more DJs because we're in the same spot. And then it's like mutual respect between all of us. So before you know it, it starts to grow. Like those are some of my favorite moments. Like DJing with, Poon. I don't know if you love Poon. That's my OG big homie DJ. Mike Medium, Sage, like doing those types of those parties, like in the cut where it was like I'm making the flyer myself on Photoshop and like
putting in that work.
I'm telling all my friends like, you don't understand, like Mike Medium is the best DJ to scratch ever, bro. I'm like, living in that moment. It was cool to just like be a fan, but also be like able to step up to the plate and kind of like hold my own with these friends of mine.
Yeah, that's fire though, because it's like people just see the final result, but they don't see the things that are done behind the scenes and all the work that is put in by the artist or by the DJ, by the producer, by like that. And those are all hats that you wear.
Yeah, for sure.
You
And
know what
that's
I'm
the funny
saying?
thing too. Like, I think more about those nights than I do like the big stuff, the cool stuff, because like in those moments I was learning at the same time. So it was like I was new to it and I was able to, you know, perform well enough that I would make these types of friends. But now that just enables me to be able to like take in more game and more game. Like I've been doing it for like almost 10 years now and I'm really good now. But like at the beginning, it wasn't even so much that I was good as it was like I was eager to learn and like wanted to be a student. So like when Mike is coming, I remember I have to tell the story. Like I remember Mike Medium walking in and I was opening. It was my party. I used to throw the events and then I would book like a guest DJ. But the people that are better than me, like I'm putting them in the prime time. Like this, sure, I'm throwing the party, but I'm gonna open for you.
Right.
So I remember Mike Medium coming in one night, and this was when Rihanna was out with Work.
Oh,
That was like the song. That was like the song
the
to
song,
play,
hell
like
yeah.
you know, on a weekend night in the LES. So I remember playing it right before Mike walked in. But as an opener, one of the things I try to do is I try not to play the big records so that the crowd hasn't already heard it. So it's a real moment for that headline guy. You know what I mean?
That's considerate of you.
Yeah. I'm a very considerate guy. It's not a lot of that in this. Yeah. So maybe that's why I'm not where I should be or want to be, I guess. But I remember Mike walking up and I was playing Work and the Drake part came up. And I was like, yo, you know I'm playing Work and shit, but I didn't really play none of the other hits. Everything else, you still good. I ain't really. And he goes, yo, let me tell you something. He said, it doesn't matter what you play because I'm going to play it better. And when he said it, like, it was such a dope moment to me because I'm like, because then what he did was he jumped on and he played a couple songs and he played Work again. And the reaction was better than when I played Work. And I was like, damn. So it was like those early moments where I learned like, yo, it's not always just about the record. Sometimes it's about the combo to get you there. Sometimes it's about the 2-3 songs you play before and the way you interact on the mic.
The transition.
So yeah, like you want to talk about cool stuff. Like, yeah, I've done festivals, I've done cool shit like that, but those moments, invaluable. You know what I mean?
How did you fall in love with DJing? Like, when did you fall in love with it? You said 10 years ago, but what was like that spark? What was that moment that you're like, yo, I want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, the way it started was we used to be in my boy's crib playing 2K, and another homie that stayed there DJ'd, so he had the controller in the back. So whenever I had to pass the sticks because I lost, I would jump on the fucking DJ controller board. Now at this point, I've already been producing and rapping for years. So none of the buttons and all that shit is intimidating to me. It's just a matter of learning the timing. So I started messing around. And at that time, we were very heavy at this bar. I'm not even going to say their name because I don't like them. But we was heavy.
Undisclosed
They're not
location.
there anymore. They're not there anymore. So maybe it don't matter. It was Durden's. Yeah. They're not even there no more. It's Jack Daw now. But I remember just like always being there every week. Mad, like long ass line. We skipping the line. We mad, like we know everybody. And one day, my boy finally convinced them to let me DJ one night. Because they never had a DJ, but they had a DJ booth. So I remember going in there and I played 2 Chainz. All I want for my birthday, yo. And I just remember playing that song and looking out. It was like a little window. And I remember looking out the little window and seeing the bar like wild out and react to the song. And I was like, oh, I'm hooked.
I want for
like
my birthday.
now I want to figure out like how do I get that reaction? Because you know when you make beats or you rap from a young age, if you don't get like immediate, not necessarily immediate success, but it's harder to get successful moments in front of a crowd as a young rapper or a young producer. But as the DJ, you don't really, you don't have to be the creative guy that makes the song. You don't have to make the hit record. As a producer, you got to make the hit. As a DJ, you got to play what the people already know.
You gotta know what's new, what's good right now.
But the difference here is like that gratification is gonna come to you quick once you know how to do it as a DJ because you're in front of that crowd for 3, 4, 5. I've done 6-hour, I've done 7-hour sets. So like now you sitting in front of that crowd and that validation comes quickly. That was it, especially as somebody like production wise, I've had a couple of little moments that were cool, but never like anything that was big like that. Where like the whole room, all I want for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I drop the shit and I hear big party. And
Everybody going
it's
crazy.
like, whoa, like okay.
It's like a crazy moment in time for real because it's like yes.
Yeah.
Right?
It's very empowering. And then like, especially when you take it serious, you know, like that was the other thing for me, being around other DJs that took it serious. You know, here comes me, like this young kid on a controller, like I don't even know how to do anything on vinyl, and everybody is like, oh, here come Jay with the controller. But then I wild out and the room goes crazy and the party turns out amazing, and they're like,
Jay with the controller.
Jay with the control, okay.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you just kind of like build off of those moments. So
Put some respect on his
you know
name.
what I mean? You know what I mean?
So let's take a little trip. So DJing came after rapping individually and production.
So I mean, technically, rapping came first because I did write my first rap before I ever made my first beat.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah, but I started making beats because of my uncle. My uncle makes music. He just got back into music, but especially when I was younger, he made music. He's a songwriter, amazing singer, like local superstar. Like I went to middle school in New York. I was raised in North Carolina. We moved up here. And my first day in middle school, the teacher read the paper and she saw my last name, recognized it from my uncle, and was like, "Oh my God, you're Ricardo's nephew." Oh my God. It was like he had local legend status, basically, like, and I just grew up around that.
The family.
Yeah, so now he had the computer in his room and he had Fruity Loops on the computer.
Oh, okay.
And he would make beats when he was home, but then weekends he'd be out to the studio. He'd be in Manhattan. So as soon as he leave, I'd sneak in his room.
And you start doing.
And I started fucking around on Fruity Loops, making beats, but I never could save it because he would know I was on the computer.
Exactly.
He didn't want me in his room. So that was like the early days of just like, you know, I call it like early practice, like just making stuff and being willing to let it go, like, because I can't save it no matter how hot it is. Like, then you start making stuff, you're like, damn, this one was better. And then you start trying to recreate what you had to delete, you know? So it becomes a different game.
Because it's crazy because when you are creating, I mean, I've been in mass sessions. I don't make music per se myself. I mean, I know how to make beats, but I do that like very dibble and dabble with it. I don't like take it as serious as I would like to, just because I'm busy with the pod and everything. But the process that I see, like, if the vibe is right there, you got to do it right there. Because if you try to do it in 2 hours, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah,
and I know, and I've seen that firsthand. Like, I'm like, yo, no, the other one sounded better, and it's like it wasn't saved, so now it's like gone, and it's like, damn.
No, I actually just opened up a session from 2016 that I got with my boy Dylan St. John. That's who I did the Meadows Festival with. So he finally sent me a file for this song that we did in 2016, and even just that, like opening it and looking at my level of like knowledge and my workflow and everything was totally different than now. Like 8 years later, I'm like, oh shit, I could do this to this. I could do this. You know, it's nice to like kind of be able to tap back into your older stuff. So like, yeah, it is very much a vibe though. Like that song, I'll play it for you off the pod. But yo, like when you hear it and when I tell you the story of it, like you'll be like, damn, that you could almost hear that it was us in a moment. Like at the beginning of the song, he's like, yo, pass me a light. I throw him a lighter across the room. It falls on the floor. He's like, thank you, bro. I was annoyed. I was annoyed with him because he wouldn't sing it right. So like he asked for a lighter. I'm like,
you're like, here.
Like you hear, it's just, you know, you feel that energy when you listen to the song. So I know exactly what you mean.
So let's get into your rap career.
Yeah.
As an individual artist, where it all began. How's that going now, by the way?
Honestly, I've been saying all over social media that I'm pretty much retired. Like the Sweatpants and Dirty Dunks album, a lot of people that listen to it know that was like a lot of life compacted into those few songs. So it wasn't like I wrote that within a year. Like, oh, I'm going to make an album. I'm going to write the album. That was like a compilation of old raps, stuff that I've had in my head forever that I never put out. Some stuff that I did put out, but I put it in a different place. So it was kind of like the like master work of my rapping. And ever since, I can't write. Like, not that I can't write, but nothing does it for me the same as the stuff I was saying in that album, because I feel like that album is like really my whole heart. Yeah. So when it comes to rapping, like I'm pretty much retired. Like if somebody hit me up and was like, yo, I want you on this song, like I'm still gonna do it because I love being in the booth.
Yeah.
Like I got a microphone tattoo on my arm. Like that was the first
That's
tattoo.
dope
Like
too, actually.
yeah, since I was young, I knew that I wanted to rap, and like I really enjoy being on stage and leading with the mic. But especially the success I've had in DJing, like just kind of makes more sense for me to pursue that as opposed to trying to like start a rap career at 32. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's actually like very
Yeah.
noble of you, because some people like that's like you're like, you know what, I'm good at other things too, so I might
Yeah.
as well just go with what works versus
Yeah.
like.
I remember
but-
being younger in that same middle school, and this same teacher, that music teacher, taught me the word Renaissance man, and like the concept of like a Renaissance man is like somebody who's really proficient or like efficient in multiple facets. And I was like, okay, like I fell in love with that concept because I remember being young and like drawing out like blueprints of what I wanted my business to be, and it would be like a building, and like the basement is a studio, the first floor is a clothing shop, second floor is a barber shop, and like it was never
You're, like,
just I
building.
want to be a clothing store owner. It was always like I want to do a lot of shit. So,
Yeah, you want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
you already
yeah,
knew
yeah.
like before you knew.
yeah, for sure.
So you would do a feature. So tap in, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, I'll say I gotta love the song, and like, especially with me, the way I write, like I never sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna write today. What happens is like I'll think of a line or two, and if I got free time, I might open up my notes on my phone and just go. And once I'm going, it just fucking flies out.
Yeah.
So my note is hella long, and then I chop out all the junk and make it
Yeah.
a nice 16. Or if you send me some shit and I hear it and I'm like, this is fire, I might sit on it for like 2 weeks and like just think it up, how I want to, what I want to, and then I'll, you know, do it. So like I can still do that, but in terms of like writing an album, like I got a folder in my laptop now. It's called "Make an Album, Bitch." But it's gonna be a producer album, and it's just like I'm just putting all the beat ideas in there so that like I could really incentivize myself to get up with some art. I'm gonna do the same thing with the threads. You know what I'm saying? Like put it
That's
out
a
there,
great
look for
idea.
and just
You could
know.
actually do like open verse challenges with
Yeah,
it and stuff
I've done stuff like that before too. Exactly. So, but you
That's
know,
fire.
that's why
Very
I named
interactive.
that's why I named the folder that, because
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, like, what is your problem? Like, how have you not made an album yet?
Yeah.
Like, make an album, bitch.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
make this
Yeah,
album.
so we working on it. We're working on it.
Exciting. Oh my God, I'm happy for you. So you're the kind of art, like your creative processes, you know, I'm gonna take my time. I'm not gonna take too much time, but I'm gonna take my time and
Yeah.
put my all into it.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
know, it's
gonna-
like, I mean, DJing taught me a lot when it comes to the other two, like production and writing. Like the thing with DJing is if you go in the party and you got an hour set and the first 30 minutes of your set is playing the hit records right then and there, then that last 30 minutes is going to be difficult for you because
Right.
you didn't build up you got to like lead into the big moment. If you start off with that big moment, you're not really as likely to go up from the big moment. You know what I
Right.
mean? So when it comes to production and writing, it's kind of that same thing where it's like, I need that build up. Like I had a project at the beginning called A Letter to My Fans. And it's because I was talking so heavy about putting out this album. I'm gonna put this album out. And I never did. I never got around to it. So like I put out a letter to my fans on some like, okay, I want y'all to make sure that you can, you know, make sure y'all know that I'm still building towards that. Like I can't just give y'all an album and say, this is my album, and it's not
what you want,
hitting,
like everything
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, so
you wanna
here's some
give it
little
all.
songs to hold you over. If you fuck with me heavy, I perform these when I do shows, whatever. But when Sweatpants and Dirty Dunks finally came about, like that was that. And anybody who really listened from the beginning, it's not a lot of people. I'm not gonna front. Like it's not like I got hundreds of fans, you know what I'm saying? But anybody who listened from the beginning, they know it's always about the progress, like the build up for me, you know?
Yeah. Ah, wow.
Yeah.
You do so many things.
Yeah, it's nice.
We're gonna get into another hat of yours.
Yeah.
The production side.
Yeah.
You know, you recently worked with somebody that a lot of people are familiar with. His name is ASAP Ferg.
Yeah. That was on the DJ side.
That was on the DJ side?
It was on the DJ side, I
Okay.
will say.
So how was that?
Yeah, fucking amazing.
Would you
the-
produce for him though? Like if he asked you for
I would fucking love to. Like I'd produce for almost anybody just because I love the studio environment. You know, but that event specifically, that is Davon from Fly Genius. Shout out my boy Davon. Fucking Known him for years.
Fire.
Actually, so after I did the festival with Dylan, I ended up becoming Viceland's DJ. So I was doing the Viceland bus, and I remember we went to Art Basel, and I bumped into Davon out there. But before we went, he actually sent me like a care package of clothes, cause I hit up a couple of the people I knew that like did clothes and stuff, and I'm like, yo, I'm going out to Miami with Viceland. It's gonna be mad cameras on me, like.
Yeah.
I want to support the homies. I want to be rocking, now
Yeah.
I think this is my look, the jersey, but like this is me repping throwback, like sure, but I wanted to put the homies brands on, and he actually sent me mad clothes. Almost all the pictures from that Art Basel weekend, I'm wearing Fly Genius or Champion. That was my two,
fire.
So we go way back, and then right when I moved back to the city a couple months ago, Davon was throwing this party, the Genius Summer. And I seen him post the first flyer, so I popped out. Hadn't seen him in years, reconnected. Second one came around, I went to it. I was like, yo, this shit is dope. And then he posted another flyer. I thought Davon don't really throw parties. So I'm like, damn. I commented, I'm like, yo, you going crazy, my boy. Like, I love to see it because, especially at the
Showing
time,
love.
I was the one doing that. Like every Wednesday, Whiskey Wednesdays, like I was doing parties. Even if nobody show up, I'm here every week. So I'm like, yo, my boy, you going crazy. I was like, I need to do a little 30-minute set for the culture.
Yeah.
And then he replies to the comment. He was like, "Oh, word," and then he DM'd me and was like, "Pull up." I was like, "Bet." So I did.
That's awesome.
I did the Fly Genius, the one of the Fly Genius summer parties,
So
and then
fire.
the next one after that is the one that Ferg came on. So he was like, "Yo, I want you to come back." You know what I'm saying? You killed it. Like everybody, wanted to have you come back and play or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. And then came to find out Ferg was on that one. So. And the funny thing is, if you go on my page, like, and this isn't even on some like Ferg is my absolute favorite artist ever. It's not even about that. It's just coming up in New York City is dope. Like I remember being at sneaker shows wearing Ferg merch. Then I remember like beginning of my DJ career. Like I remember doing the Meadows Festival and playing Plain Jane on the stage, like first song. You know what I'm saying? Like
That remix with Nicki
we
is
talked
crazy.
about manifestation a little bit.
Yeah.
It's almost like you manifest the energy without noticing. Like a lot of my content on my Instagram, or people will tell you moments that they've had with me at a party, and it'll be like Plain Jane was on, and he took his hair tie out, and his dreads started flying around the room. Like it was kind of a thing. So when I got to actually stand there and play Plain Jane, and I'm doing that shit with Ferg, I was like, yeah,
That full circle
manifestation,
moment.
yeah, because yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. You see, like that's really what this is about, because it's like that's what you work hard for.
Absolutely.
Moments like that.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
You're like, yo, I played his music. Now I'm like standing here DJing for him. That's fire.
And that's the thing too. Like, one thing I'll say it, especially because I talk about this often, but I never get to do it on a pod. But that's what comes with taking pride in what you do. Like, being in the music for so many years before I was a DJ, it just gave me a different level when I'm at the table to DJ. Like, okay, I'm here to DJ, but I'm gonna make sure these wires ain't crossed up. I'm gonna make sure that the mic could flow when the artist is ready to go. I'm gonna make sure that the sound is right. I got video behind the scenes footage. I got video of the dude that owns the venue that we were at for the Ferg show, and me and him, like Ferg is performing, and me and him are talking because he's like, dude, the speakers, like, they look like they're gonna blow. And I'm like, don't worry, I got you. Like, we're just in the background, like Ferg performing, everybody is over here, phones out, and we're just like, no, the bottom, try the top. Yeah, like, hilarious. So, you come with that passion. Like, I feel like that's one of the things that sets me apart. Not saying that others don't, but a lot of people don't prioritize the little things that make a production great. So I like to say it's manifestation, but it's also like what I bring to the table,
You're actually I know you do many things, but DJing is one of them. You're the first DJ on the show.
Hey, let's go. I love that.
That's fire.
I love
That's literally
that.
the only part of like that I haven't had.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, honestly, like the experience I have from DJing is I have so many more stories, like DJ stories, because it happens so quickly. I like to say all the time, I was very lucky, just like from that first party, getting that reaction. There's so many DJs who like kind of have to go back to the drawing board multiple times before they get comfortable or can book bigger parties and stuff like that. I think obviously my music background helped me, but once I got on the road with DJing, like it just didn't stop.
Yeah.
Like I was very lucky. Festivals and events. Viceland, I did a complex
Viceland
Christmas
is
party.
legendary.
Like, yeah,
I love
yeah,
Viceland.
Yeah, Viceland. I got a lot of stories from Viceland. Too.
Like
Shout out to
Viceland,
Viceland.
shout out to
R.I.P. man.
Viceland.
R.I.P. They're out
Yo,
of business.
for real.
Yeah, they're donezo.
Like
R.I.P.
they're legendary though. Like they really brought the truth to the people.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
for sure.
you know, I was definitely a Viceland girl,
Yeah.
like Stan. I would watch a lot of Viceland.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So
it was fun. I
RIP.
did Art Basel with them. I did South by Southwest with them a couple times.
I went to Art Basel 2 years in a row, and it was fire.
Yeah, yeah. Art Basel is dope. I mean, it was my first time in Florida too, and then that was also me and my girl like just officially like got together. So like the timing was crazy because our first like trip was me working, but it was also the first time that I was really getting paid to travel for
That's
my music.
fire.
So it just, you know,
Yeah.
talk about full circle
Didn't that
moments.
feel
Like,
good?
yeah, crazy. I never forget it. I never forget
Yeah,
it.
it's like, you know, it's just, you know, it's like the fruits of your labor. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
You're like, all right, you know, all right, all my decisions have led up to this point. I'm obviously doing something right.
And that's the thing too for young artists. Like, yo, you could think it's one way, but then your time comes in a whole different way you weren't expecting. Like,
Yeah.
I was making beats for 10 years. I was rapping my ass off, rapping my heart out for years. And then here comes DJ, and I play fucking Birthday Song by 2 Chainz. And now all of a sudden, like, here's the culmination of the time and effort. Like, just
Yeah.
because I didn't make that song doesn't mean that all the years of me making shit, it just enabled me to know, oh, this song is the one to play
Yeah,
right now. And I
yeah.
played it and it worked, and it's like, oh.
You're like,
Yeah.
all right, I got the cheat code.
Yeah, like,
Is there
yeah.
any one of all the things like you produce? I know you say you don't rap, but if you do a feature, you kind of still do. So
Yeah,
between rapping,
yeah.
producing, and DJing, which one do you feel like you like one more?
Want me to like pick one?
Yeah.
It's production, you know, and it's funny too because as much as I could, as many reasons as I could have for it to be the other two, the proof is just in the work. Like production is the only one that I have consistently been doing. I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. So, and Fruity Loops every weekend in my uncle's room, like it was religion. Like Friday after school came, I went to sleep. I knew I was waking up to make a beat on Saturday. And my uncle was going to probably be gone all day. And then Sunday, he going to come back home at like 5 a.m., you know, music maker, late night studio vibe. So I know he going to sleep till like 2 p.m. So Sunday, I'm going to go hang out at the park, da-da-da. But then when I come back home, he gone, back on Fruity Loops. So like, that's the one that I've always consistently worked on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? DJing, I just took a 2-year break from DJing. So, you know, and as soon as I pop back up, I'm doing the shit with Ferg. So it was not funny, but it's cool. But, you know, that whole time, I'm still making beats.
Yeah.
You know? So definitely production.
Yeah. So I feel like, production is like, it's like a puzzle, really.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to love it to do it because it's not easy.
Yeah.
And you talk about Fruity Loops. Like, you know what's crazy about Fruity Loops? That a lot of artists told me that that's the program that they hate.
Yeah.
But I'm not scared of it.
I
I've
don't
seen
use it
them-
anymore
yeah.
now either. But 13 years old, one computer, and if my uncle had Logic on the computer, if my uncle had Pro Tools on the computer, I would have fucked around with him too. It was the only thing I had.
Yeah.
So then when it's the only thing you have and you learn it, it just becomes a trick. Like, I don't know if you ever read Timbaland's book, Emperor of Sound.
No.
He talks about this often though, but like he talks about the concept of having a bag of tricks. Like you can be good at one thing. You could be the fucking best at one thing. But sometimes you'll be in a room that might require you to access a different skill.
True.
So being amazing at Fruity Loops, but you go somewhere with somebody that only wants to record a live band with da-da-da, and you need different specs, like, you know, you want to be able to reach into that bag
Yeah.
of tricks. So like, I think that
Be
stuck with me.
versatile.
Yeah, that stuck with me where like now I know I can make a beat on anything. I can make a beat on Fruity Loops. I could do Pro Tools. I could do Logic. I could do GarageBand.
And you
Like,
taught yourself all of that?
yeah, self-taught. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah,
up,
my
let me-
uncle helped me a lot, but also the way he helped was more like I remember one time he caught me and I was making a beat and he blew my mind. Like, and this might be the only way he helped me. It might be the only it's not really, but it might be the only like, and he knew what he was doing, but instead of like getting mad at me, he just like told me to move and he remixed my beat. And I saw how it went from like cool to me to like actually cool. And I was like, oh. So that comes with time and practice and knowing things. Like he was turning knobs that I was like, damn, I never touched
You're
that.
like, yeah.
So now next time I make a beat, I'm like, what happens if I turn that knob? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like that's how it, yeah. Being self-taught is not like this magical thing, but I do think there's definitely an angle to it. You know, like to teach yourself, like right now, I can't play the keyboard. One of the hardest, like I'm not classically trained in the keyboard. Yesterday, I was making a beat and I played these chords by accident and it sounded so fire. And I was like, I gotta record it. And I hit record and I went to do it again and I couldn't.
Damn.
So like there's moments like that where you kind of bang your head against the wall. And I tried to teach myself like music theory and like, but it ain't for me. A lot of the production for me is just like a feeling. Like, and I got a really good ear. Like just from being around it my whole childhood, I could hear well, you know, so I might not need to know exactly where on the scale I'm supposed to be.
I have a beat. Let me see. I'm gonna try to show you a beat I have.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy, you know. I'm not like...
Nah, of course. You know, this is the thing, too. Like, bro, I've been making beats for basically 20 years.
I made it on the SP with my boy, though.
Yeah. And listen, I've been making beats for almost 20 years. And there's a couple of songs I could show you that I'm proud of that other artists have got on or whatever. And they've done some numbers or they've gotten some whatever. But, like, at the end of the day, I realize I'm still making beats for my sanity. So, like... It's a beautiful way to express yourself. Everybody want to make a hit. That's the problem. It ain't about that sometimes.
This is one of them.
Let me
It's
hear,
like spooky. Well, I think somebody's rap. Wait.
Oh, somebody
You
on
hear
it?
yeah, but I was trying to just find the beat. Let me see if I have it. Let me see.
And you made it on an SP12. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
But somebody's on it now. Damn. But
It's cool.
all right, well,
it's
fine.
fun.
But you hear the ha ha ha. That's me.
Yeah, okay.
That's my tag. That's my tag.
How does it feel to hear somebody rapping on your shit?
That shit felt good.
a great
I'm not
feeling.
gonna lie.
Yeah. It's a great feeling.
I said, what? That's my boy Raj. Shout out to Raj.
Off.
Shout out to
I was
my
about
bro.
to say, and he going off on it. That's how you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Like, think about it like this too. Like, nobody that you walking past in your day-to-day, nobody that you work with is thinking like, her beat ain't good. They don't even know you made a beat.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I think that's why I could say production is my favorite out of all of them because there's been stretches of 2-3 years.
I even made this.
Yeah. Oh, you got the little club. Come on, let's talk about it. That's what a lot of the make an album bitch folders sound like right there. Yeah.
I made this on GarageBand.
Listen, how easy was it?
It was easy.
Exactly. When you got the patience for it,
Yeah,
man.
I made mad beats. I have mad beats in here. Like,
Yo, I've literally had 2-3 year stretches where I make beats the whole time and nobody ever hears one. Like I never send them. Like da-da-da. My boy Dylan be mad as hell at me. Yo, you got all this fire in your computer. You never send it to me. Like I played him a beat yesterday that was weeks old, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I forgot about this. What the fuck?
I'm trying to find another one that I made, but I can't find it, and it's like really good, but I can't find it.
And you did it all. So you did GarageBand. You've been on the SP12. What else you make beats on? What have you used?
I made it on my other boy. Shout out to AWOL. AWOL. That's the beat I'm trying to show you. That actually I have it in my email. It's like the machine that you like press the
MPC
like
or
the Kanye one.
Ableton put the MPC.
Like them old ones.
I just posted it on my story. Wait, let me show you it and let's see if it's the same one. It probably is.
Let's see if it's this one.
You talking about one of these?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is the one I made
right?
there.
Yeah.
I made it on
MPC.
this one. I sampled James Brown. For this.
Yeah, sampling on that thing. I literally just pulled mine out the box, but I got to get some wires.
Shout out to AWOL. He helped me make this. Because I didn't know what I was doing at first, but then he explained it, and then I did it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It ain't that hard. Let's go.
That's James Brown. I was trying to, it's not done, but
Nah, it's cool though. But that's the thing. Like
it's just a loop right
sometimes it's just about the time you put in. Because I was doing that on the 2000 XL when I was 15.
now. Hear the chords.
Like my step pops had a 2000 XL and mad floppy disks in a fucking lunchbox.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was doing at all, but I was doing that same thing. Chopping up a James Brown, putting in pads, just kind of banging out the pads. You know, like, yeah, that's how it all turns into how often you go back to it. Like almost with anything. Like I'm sure you feel that way about the pod.
Yeah.
You know, you had a long day before getting here today, but you still like, yo, I'm doing what.
Yeah. This is the
what
necessary
talks to
work
me.
I feel like I need to do in order to get where I need to go.
Yeah, hell
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I just feel like consistency is key.
Absolutely.
And it's not even about who has the most talent. It's about who's gonna work the hardest.
Yeah,
sometimes.
absolutely. You know, like my boy. It's funny you said that. I thought about my boy Andy Mack. Shout out to Andy. Andy said to me when I started up with the podcast, he was like, "Yo, bro, it looks great. Just stay consistent." And it was funny, not funny, but when I stopped doing the podcast, his words came back to my head. I was like, yo, it is about the consistency in this side of it. And what I realized is with like making a beat, I can start a beat now. I can go back to it 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
But with a podcast, you can't really do that. You know what I'm saying? Like podcasts, you gotta consistently be posting. You gotta like have different people, different topics. Like you have to.
Yeah, and me, like I'm like a lot of people tell me like I'm like mysterious.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until like recently that I'm like really like posting more, posting myself more in stories, like talking to people more. Cause I used to have like a personal profile and then the pod profile.
Okay.
But then like I noticed that like the gems, I was posting it in my personal profile. So I was like, fuck it, I got rid of that shit.
Yeah,
so I'm
put
like,
it
I gotta
all,
focus here. I
Yeah.
can't just be, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta make those sacrifices. So I
Right.
directed all that traffic to my pod page.
Right.
Like if you want to see me, you gotta.
I mean,
see
even
me.
since I followed you, even since I've been tapped in with you, like I see that, so I wouldn't have even known. We was just talking about that though. Like you know, you don't always know who's tapped into your social content.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
So like, you know, you could, like you said, you could be giving the gems on your personal page, but somebody on the podcast page is waiting to hear something like that today. You know what I'm saying? So like, where you put it, where you put your energy, definitely
right.
important.
And like I just feel like no question is a stupid question.
Yeah.
So if I'm asking the question, and that's another thing that I'm starting to do more now. Like today I put it out there, like I'm producing somebody's podcast just in
Yeah,
case
I saw
another.
that.
Yeah, just in case, like yo, like pick my brain, sharpen my pencil, sharpen my skills. I just feel like I'm tired of waiting for like I'm waiting to be like, oh, am I in with you? Am I in with you? Like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna start building my motherfucking army. Like, you know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? And
Yep.
I'm gonna start elevating the people that want to be elevated. Cause it's like if you've been wanting to do this, and now I'm already in a position where I've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
That I know how to at least start it.
Yeah,
Then you know what I'm saying?
Pour both of your cups into the bucket.
Mad brains
Yeah.
work better than one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, don't be afraid to let other people shine. Don't
Right.
be afraid to like take a step back and like don't be a good collaborator, be a great collaborator, like
Yeah.
Pharrell said in
Yeah,
that
for
video.
real.
Like
Yeah.
he's like the difference between a good
Love that video.
collaborator and a great collaborator is that a good collaborator knows who to collaborate with, but a great collaborator is not afraid to let other people shine and it's not afraid to be in a room with people with the same energy,
Yeah.
like the same like
Yeah.
status,
Yeah.
and not feel intimidated. And I
Yeah.
feel like I'm like that. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
not afraid to support other people.
Yeah, I feel like I said that to you too when we first was talking. I remember watching an episode right then and there, and I remember saying it to you like, I think that's probably where you're really good at. Like you probably
Thank you.
are finding success in it just off the fact that you could do that. Because a lot of times, like yo, I was podcasting early, way back when I was part of Rap Fest. I used to do a podcast, and like getting people to engage wasn't a concept to me. In my mind, I was just there to get my opinion out.
Yeah.
But there's a certain way that you got to do it to make it engaging, to make a listener want to come back. For me, I watch a lot of podcasts all day, and the ones I watch, that's a common theme. So like when I'm watching your episodes, I'm like, oh yeah, Like you get it because
Thank
you
you.
already are doing that part of it, which a lot of people don't. You know.
Yeah, because a lot of things that the people don't know, like, well, now you know because now you met me in person.
Yeah.
Like, once you meet me in person,
It
like, we're
makes
locked
sense.
in.
It clicks. Yeah,
Yeah, so, like, that's
Yeah.
it. Like, and then after this, like, we're not done talking. Like,
Yeah.
just because we did a pod and it comes out
Right.
doesn't mean that my door's not open if you drop something, if you got something to promote,
Right.
if you just want to come and chop it
Pull
up
up
with
to
me
the sesh
again.
house, right.
Like, yeah, or if you just want to come chill with me,
Yeah,
like, yo,
yeah.
I'm pulling up over there. I want to go to this event, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
people don't see, like, you guys have to nourish those relationships. You
Right.
have to keep that door open door policy, because just because you work with somebody, oh, okay, that's it, it's already on my resume, I'm done.
Yeah.
No, you're never done. Like, this work is never
Absolutely.
done.
Yeah.
And it's always, constant. And I honestly do it because I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, if I stay consistent, just like anything, I feel like it's gonna pay off one day.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Especially in the podcast world. 'Cause
Hopefully.
I tried it. I love my podcast idea too. I'm gonna get to it.
Yeah, why
It's
not?
needed.
How
It's
was
needed.
it? Like, how long ago did you podcast? What was the name of your podcast?
It was the end of last year. I did 2 episodes because I was recording it off my laptop, editing it myself, and it wasn't so much like a conversation. It was just me. So it
Yeah.
was just like me talking. More geared towards like being like a YouTube channel, like just
Okay.
content type of thing. But it was called The Icks, and it was basically like I used to say it was a podcast by DJs for DJs and the people that attend their parties.
That's
and
fire.
like what I wanted to do was kind of talk about different things that people don't really know about, or DJs don't know about, or artists don't know about that's important to the moment. So like
Yeah.
I think one of my episodes, I did an episode about like up and coming artists, the way to approach the DJ. Like I used to be the in-house
That's
DJ
actually
for
smart.
Yeah, so I used to be an in-house DJ for Major Stage, and
Oh,
I was
wow.
dealing with 9 to 13 performers every night that I did a gig with them, and you just get varying levels of give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'll get one
And then,
dude
like-
who comes up with the whole set on a
what I was
USB,
gonna
one
say.
track. All I got to do is hit play. All the drops are there. All the whatever.
Yeah.
All I got to do is stand back and make sure the music plays. And then I had a kid come up to me 3 minutes before he's supposed to be on stage saying, "Go get it off of SoundCloud." So the podcast
You're
was
like, how? I have to put it in the fucking thing in the set.
while the other dude's music is playing. So now you want me to risk messing up his slot because you didn't feel like. So the podcast was geared towards like, yo, don't be this guy.
The do's and don'ts.
Yeah, be this
Yeah.
guy. This is how you'll
I
ingratiate
think you
yourself
should
to the
pursue it.
DJ. Yeah, I think I'll get back to it for sure. And I know so many DJs, like, and all of my homies, when I tell them the idea, they're so excited to tell a story
Yeah.
because we all got. You wanna. I'll be honest with you right now. You see how like Shannon Sharp started getting comedians on his show
Yeah.
because it worked. Get DJs up here.
Yeah.
Get DJs up here and let them tell you that some of their craziest stories because we see a lot, yo.
Yeah.
We see a lot. I had a dude pee on the bartender. I shut the music off so fast.
What?
I shut the music off so fast. I had the whole room looking for this dude. And apparently he had ran out. But like I cut the music off. And I was like, yo, where is he? Like that cannot happen. My bartender wilding. Not like
Yeah,
but it
like,
was this is probably a crazy story for YouTube, but literally like upset that she wouldn't give him a drink or made him wait or something and like pissed on the floor and like it splashed on her. Like, nigga, what?
Ew.
Like, yo, DJs have the craziest story. Bartenders too, probably.
Like, party's
but,
over.
Yeah, but we DJs see it all, man.
yeah, because y'all literally see it all.
Yeah.
Y'all literally are like the back, see the whole room.
Yeah, we're in the booth like with the full view of the spot 9 times out of 10. Yeah, so crazy.
That's actually, that's an interesting perspective because that is true. Like,
Yeah,
they
man.
do always see the
And
whole
it's also
entire
our job to read the room. Like,
Yeah, it's true.
Like bartenders have to read a room too, but it's different. Bartenders really just have to read their customer as they're in front of them,
That's
or
true.
like the people that leave their tab open. They might learn that person's habits to get the extra drink or two out of them.
Yeah.
Something like that. But a DJ, from the moment you walk in, before you're even set up, you're already looking at the room. Who's here? What can I play? You know, what's playing right now? Okay, she's bopping to this. I know if I play something like that, that whole group will move. Cool. Now I got to look for the next one. They probably want to hear this. Cool. So now when I'm playing, I've tested out. Oh, I knew they would like Taylor Swift. I'm throwing the tip, boom, boom.
That's
I
why
knew they would
DJs
like,
get to the spots early.
Yeah. So part of the gig is watching everything, and then the DJ booth is usually in the perfect spot to see the entire place.
Yeah.
So if you really are tapped into your job, you're gonna see some shit.
Would you say that it's smart to get to a place, like to go to a place before a gig just to see what the vibe is there?
Yeah, I mean, every DJ is gonna have their own kind of like method, right? Like, I know some DJs who can't do that. They feel like if they go into a spot beforehand, it makes them overthink it. I know some DJs who overthink everything, and every set they play, they know what songs they're gonna play.
Yeah.
And then me personally, like, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. Like, 9 times out of 10, unless I have an idea that I've been waiting to get out. Like right now, I haven't DJ'd since that Ferg event. No, I did a wedding besides that, but I haven't DJ'd in a minute. I got the itch right now.
Yeah.
And I have an idea of something I want to try out. So like, I might start my set with that. But 9 times out of 10, I don't go into a spot knowing what I'm going to play. I don't go into a spot saying like, this is going to be this type of place. I'm going to play this type of music. Because you never know. Like, I've had moments where I think that I'm going to play some throwback, feel good hip hop music.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be that I've got to play some like, you know,
Newer
current
stuff.
pop,
Yeah.
you know, some EDM type of, and hey, for me, it's like, okay, like, you know, one thing I really focus on is every genre of music has songs that I like. So like, even if I don't love to play a 2-hour like EDM type of set, there are songs that I like in that world that I'll still play, and it's a happy medium.
I like Gordo.
Yo,
That
the
DJ.
new album. The new
Yeah, I
album,
heard the whole thing. It's so good.
Carnage.
It's
That's
so good.
Carnage. Yeah, I was just at that Ferg event, homie. My boy Bugs. Shout out my boy Bugs. He was just like, yo, you listen to that album yet? And I was like, yeah. I was like, yo, that's Carnage, right? Like he rebranded his name. He's like, nah. And I'm like, I think it is, bro. He looked it up and hit me up. He's like, yo, you was right. He just changed his name to Gordo. Yeah. But the album was fire. Like, that's, yo, talk about it. That's the energy I'm talking about with Make an Album, bitch. Like, yo, people will, like, you can do it. It's just a matter of that consistency, you know, to bring it all back. Like, you know, locking in on what it is you actually want to do.
Exactly.
You know?
And then, like, you can try other things, but just lock in on something and get great at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like for me, it's podcasting. For you, it's DJing.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. Like I feel like when it came to rapping, like I feel like I conquered it because I was so happy with that product. Like Sweatpants and Dirty Dunks, like, is literally the culmination of everything I wanted to be as a rapper. Like, I was able to tell my story for real. I was really able to express my heart and like put my fucking heart on my sleeve and like let it bleed on the paper. Like, I feel like I lived all of that. So I mastered it, and then boom, here comes DJing. And then now, like, I mean, I told you I just took a 2-year break damn near from DJing. I kind of felt like, not that I mastered it, but that I did what I was supposed to do in it. You know, like, I got to do a festival stage. I had been going to that festival for 4 years. And then I finally got to be up on the stage. Tory Lanez performed on our stage.
Tory Lanez.
Boss performed
He's
on
fire.
our stage. I was standing backstage for Cole, like one of my favorite rappers. Like,
Yo.
Nas was on the stage. I was right there, like
Legend.
right in the front, like, you know.
That
So
nasty Nas.
it's my favorite
nasty
rapper.
Nas.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
Queens
Nas
get
is
the
up there.
money.
He's in my top 5.
Yeah, it's my number 1. I can't lie. You know.
So let's switch gears a little bit because you have another hat. Hat. You're opening a restaurant.
Oh yeah. I was wondering. You said it, and I'm like, damn, which hat we ain't talk about?
Yeah.
The restaurant. Yeah. So shout outs to
Tell
the
us
Nugget
a little-
Spot. Yeah,
the
man.
Nugget Spot. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yo, so the Nugget Spot was around earlier too. Ugly ass COVID took us out. But we was open for like 7 years in Union Square.
Okay.
So, you know, Manhattan, and especially Union Square, a lot of foot traffic, you know, a lot of new faces every day, da-da-da. So we were there for 7 years, built up a lot of relationships. I mean, even when I took over as a GM, I was having us sponsor stuff and da-da-da. Like, we've worked with a lot of people, and we closed down because of COVID. Now we're reopening. It's going to be in a different location. We haven't announced it yet, so I can't say it.
Tap in. Make sure y'all
Almost
go.
there, though.
Make
Almost
sure
there.
y'all
Yeah.
tap in so y'all know where it's gonna open at.
The Nugget Spot on Instagram, so you could do that. But yeah, excited to be opening that back up. I mean, yo,
I'm definitely gonna go.
Listen, even thinking back to like you know, I remember bringing Nuggets to Hot 97. You know, it's
That's
cool
fire.
for me. The point
love
I'm making
Nuggets.
is like, I love that those two worlds could collide for me because like. I mean, somebody was just talking about this too on your pod, like the concept of being a creative, but you still got your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And in this case, like the 9 to 5 being the nugget spot, it was cool because I got to merge both worlds.
Yeah.
So like I could sponsor somebody's party with nuggets or sponsor my own party with
Yeah,
nuggets.
that's fire.
Like, stuff like that where I'm kind of cross promoting both
have to
brands.
chat.
Yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
we coming back. So just give us a little bit of time. We almost there.
Y'all better tap into Nugget Spot because I got some work for y'all. I got some parties for y'all.
We almost there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, running the restaurant. I mean, and then while we were closed, I worked for mad companies. So
yeah,
it just kind of reaffirmed for me that the reason I'm doing it with Nugget Spot is because I'm passionate about the brand and about the people and about, any of my friends. There's gonna be friends who probably comment that are like, yo, facts, them nuggets. We need them nuggets. Yo, I want such and such a nugget. Like,
I'm excited.
Because it really was like a big part of my early like building up too. So for it to come back now and I'm older, more mature, I'm doing more stuff, it's pretty cool.
And how is the overall process of helping with, opening the restaurant? Like
It's
that
cool.
whole
So,
behind the scenes process.
One of the things the first time around with the spot on 14th Street, I wasn't there before it opened, but I was one of the customers on the first day it opened.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I lived right around there. This was on 14th between 2nd and 3rd. I used to live on 12th and 3rd. And all my homies back then know that was the garden. Like I had a garden in the backyard. It was a crazy, I did not belong in that apartment.
Yeah.
Like my roommate at the time was making, both of them, there was 2 roommates. They was making 6 figures and like they had wild dough.
Yeah.
I was not supposed to be
You're like,
their
how
third
am I
roommate.
here? Yeah.
One of the girls that was staying there with them, she left, and like the room was like $1,000 a month. It was mad bread, but like I just got a new job at Adorama. Shout outs to Adorama, I guess.
Yeah.
And I could walk to work. I was like, fuck it, I'll give him $1,000.
Yeah.
But it was right around the corner from Nugget Spot, so I went in there. I mean, chicken nuggets my favorite way to eat. I love chicken
nuggets.
and I love boneless.
It's
My
like the
favorite
best.
way
Yeah.
to eat
You're
the
like,
food. So I'm in
I'ma
there
try.
every day, every day. So like, anybody who knows me from those younger days, they've met me at the Nugget Spot. They've, waited for me to
Incredible.
leave the Nugget Spot. They've pulled up before me to the Nugget Spot. They call me when I'm home. They're like, yo, I'm at the Nugget Spot. Like,
And now you fucking in the Nugget Spot, reopening a new location.
Yeah.
It's like the full circle moment.
Yeah,
Boop.
absolutely. Yeah.
Doing what you love.
Yeah, for sure.
And eating nuggets.
And eating nuggets. Yeah. Yeah. That part I can't wait for. I miss my nuggets.
That's dope. And do you like the hospitality industry? Like restaurants, hospitality.
I'm a very thoughtful person. And anything that I do get into, that always is going to be a part of my process, is being thoughtful about it. So once I started working in food, like first of all, even the way I became GM, Jason had to go somewhere. Like he had a family trip planned, and he was like, "Yo, let me show you how to print the schedule out, place an order, and whatever." I'm like, "All right, cool." He came back and he was like, "You should be the GM," and I'm like, "Hell no! Like, it's my favorite restaurant. I have no experience being a GM. I'm gonna burn this place down, and then I'm not gonna get to eat at my favorite spot." And he's like, "Well, you've basically been doing it for the past 3 weeks." I'm like, okay, cool. I guess it makes sense. And what I realized was like, I had such a great time being able to be, like we were talking about earlier, I want to be that manager that I wish I always had.
Exactly.
So once I got into managing people and managing customer expectations and stuff like that, that's when I kind of saw some value in hospitality for myself. Because I'm good at that. Like, I'm a people person. I'm also thoughtful, so I know how to kind of think ahead of you so that you don't. We was just talking about it. Like, I could peep that table is doing something that's a little
like body
outside of
language.
what they should be. So as the manager, I can intervene and say, "Hey, I'm the." It's just like being a DJ. Shout out to my manager Matt. Right. I remember when he first started coming around with me to parties, I used to tell him, "Yo, go to the bar and get 2 whiskey gingers, one for me, one for you," and he'd be like nervous about it. I'm like, "Yo, let me tell you the golden tagline, especially in a place that they know me and love me. I'm with the DJ."
Facts.
I'm with the DJ. And he learned the full power of that in the sense of like, not anybody can do it. You can't just walk up to the bar and say, you know the DJ and you don't know me. Because they're going to somebody going to check you at some point. But when they see me walk in with you, boom, I'm with the DJ.
Yeah.
It gets you a lot of,
Yeah.
So it's the same thing in the hospitality industry. If you sitting down eating a meal and something goes wrong with your server, and then the manager walks up and says, "Hey, I'm the manager," you're like, oh,
Oh,
it's a different
okay.
energy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, I'm kind of already used to that, and I know how to deploy that and not be abusive with that.
Exactly.
So I think I do pretty well
Be considerate
in
of it. So
hospitality.
it's great
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
I'm
I
excited
love
for
it.
this journey.
Thank you.
I'm excited that we now know one
Yeah,
another.
I love it.
I'm excited to be tap in. Y'all better tap in too.
Yes, absolutely.
And I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
If there was some advice that you could give to your younger self, what would it be?
I was just talking about this the other day too. The advice would definitely be to like stop waiting for someone to come along. Like stop waiting for that magic moment where somebody just I remember just being young. Yo, you know, we were talking about social media earlier and me being an early adapter. Like I remember being one of the first in my friend group to have MySpace, one of the first to have Facebook. I used to say on MySpace, the youngest producer in the game. That was my whole angle when I was 13, making beats in my fucking uncle's Fruity Loops and I thought that I was really gonna shine online, and JD or Swiss Beats was gonna see my profile and be like, "This kid's the youngest producer in the game," and I just was like, I spent so much time in my younger years of music waiting for that person or that moment, and look how randomly DJing became what was successful. Playing 2K, losing in 2K, and having to wait 30 minutes my turn led to me playing music in the house, led to me playing music in the bar, led to me.
Yeah.
You know, so like, and it wasn't a person. It was, I was about to say his name. I don't even want to say his name. I'm cutting him off. I don't like that guy either.
That person.
But his controller and me losing, because I was playing with the Knicks probably, and somebody was playing with a better team, you know, taking the L made me jump on the controller. And so if I can give advice, it would be like, don't get caught up in waiting for that person. You know what I mean? Like I remember, I'll tell this story. I remember Juju from the Beat Nuts used to go to the bar with one of my bros. Used to go to the bar all the time that I was at. And I remember one day I was just feeling real like unseen. Like I just remember feeling like, yo, I be making these dope ass beats. Like I be DJing, the party be moving, everybody knows it. Like how am I still in this same position, right? And I remember Juju came in and I wasn't even approaching him on this energy, but because of the mindset I was in, that's the energy that was coming off. So I remember him turning to me and being like, yo, Jay Thursday, my nigga, like, you know I love you, but it's mad niggas that want me to do something for them. Like, you gotta get in. He low-key told me, you gotta get in line.
Yeah, type shit.
And it was funny because I wasn't approaching him on that, but it made me realize, like, damn, like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
And I have been that guy for all my early career. So, like, don't be that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't expect somebody to come along and be like, yo, that was the best song I ever heard. We have to go. I have to bring you to death. Like, it don't happen like that no more.
No.
It don't happen
You
like
gotta
that
go
no
and
more.
get it for yourself.
Yeah, you got to go and get it. You got to go grind. Or even at least if the talent is like above everyone else in the field, it's still not going to be up to some person to come figure that out for you and say, look, y'all, this is the best in the field. Like, you still have to, you know,
It's true.
put the work in.
No, it is true. Because like don't be afraid to do something out of the ordinary to get the results that you need.
Right.
You know, as long
Straight
as you're
up.
not like selling your soul. Or
And then
some
it's funny
shit.
because the tables turn, right? So like now I'm DJing a party and like some young dude standing next to me at the booth, and I'm looking at him just like Jew looked at me like, yo, you got to get in line. And now I can empathize with it because like I put the work in. So 8 years in, the guy who's been doing it for 7 months is looking at me as the person that put the work in.
Right.
You can't fabricate that.
No,
I
like,
can't have
literally.
that interaction with somebody one day and then be like 3 weeks later, all right, I put the work in. Like, it don't work
It's
like
kind
that.
of crazy because now I'm in that position, and like aspiring podcasters and people in their first, second episode that I'm helping, they're looking at me like, yo, you're like 300 plus, 500 plus episodes in. Like, I only have like 50 on YouTube, but before that, I'm like so many audio. And I'm just like, damn, like, that person they're looking at.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yo,
like,
and it's a good feeling.
It's
And it's intimidating.
right.
Because it's like you want to keep getting the benefits of that good feeling,
Yeah.
but then you also start like overthinking like, damn, I gotta come correct now. Like, if you don't manage that the right way.
Right. You gotta be a certain way.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can't, like, you could help, but you gotta also let people learn, right? So I feel like I'm a good teacher. So I'm not gonna give you the answers, the answers. I'm gonna give you what you need to do, but I'm also gonna test you to see if you're serious. So it's like, I didn't have nobody help me.
Hello. And that's my advice. Like,
hello.
Let's not get it twisted, right? It always sounds bad when you say that, because it's like somebody somewhere is gonna be like, damn, you think I can help you? It's not about like not getting help, because of course we get help from the people that care about us, that want us to see us win. Nobody helped me, but but like nobody can run across the finish line for you if you run a marathon. If you run a whole marathon and the last like freaking 30 steps, you expecting somebody to come in with fresh legs and boost to the finish line and get the win for you, like, it's not gonna happen. No. You know what I'm saying? You better muster up the energy and get them last 30 steps in. And if you really want to be the champion, you gonna run your hardest for them 30 steps. So like, you gotta, if you're a young artist nowadays, you have to know two things. The world and the game is 10 times different. Okay. Like I got a BBC tattoo on my arm. Pharrell, one of my favorite artists. The way that motherfuckers like Pharrell and Timbo and all of them get discovered, like that don't happen no more. Timbaland was in a basement making music for months and almost maybe years before anybody knew who he was. And he was right up under a label artist who had his own label deal, and he had all this
Secret
stuff.
Weapon.
And he still had to sit in that basement and put in the work. Like, there's no getting around that. So don't think, the problem is, I'm not even trying to call Shorty out, but we're just going to use her as an example. But the problem is, like, the younger generation sees an example of somebody like Ice Spice. They come out, the first song is a rocker, and they're like, my shit is a rocker, so I should be able to do the same thing. Sometimes it be about luck. Sometimes it be about timing. Ice Spice could have been rapping and writing rap for 10 years before ever putting one song out. When that one song comes out and it's a banger, that's 10 years worth of work culminating.
Exactly.
But the younger kids see it as, oh, I'm her same age. She go to school in the Bronx, just like I go to school in the Bronx. My song sounds good to me, so why can't I be? And it
just
can
depends.
It can get confusing.
It's kind of crazy because I heard her song For the Love on SoundCloud. Because as you can see, I like being on SoundCloud. I dig.
We got to get you on Audio Mac. Shout out to Audio Mac.
I have Audio Mac too.
Okay, cool.
I like Audio
Fan,
Mac.
that's the family.
Yeah, and Bandcamp, all that shit.
Let's go. Okay.
So, damn, what was it saying? Oh, For the Love, Ice Spice. So I heard it when it had like, I kid you not, it had like 1,000 likes on it, 2,000 likes on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this shit is gonna blow. This girl is gonna blow.
Yeah.
I kid you not. Like 6 months later, she's fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I fucking knew it, bro.
Yeah.
I fucking started following her before she got verified, before anything.
Right.
And then I just saw her like out of nowhere. She was on fucking Nicki. Then I saw her with Nicki.
It
then
just
I saw
happens.
her like,
and,
it was
and that's
like
the thing. And that's the thing. The younger artists today only have those examples because that's what's happening right now. When we were younger, when people were coming up during our time, like, it was a perfect example, like Nelly. Like, I moved from North Carolina to New York when I was young, 13 years old or something, like somewhere in that range. I had been listening to Nelly for at least 3-4 years.
Oh, shit.
Because of tapes. My stepdad having tapes of Nelly's music. Now, we're in North Carolina. He from St. Louis. It ain't necessarily all the South in a sense, but compared to New York, that shit is all a foreign world. But down there, I'm listening to Master P tapes out the trunk. I'm listening to shit like
Master P, yo.
You know what I'm saying?
He taught a lot of people.
I was tapped into the music. I moved to New York, and I'm up here, and nobody knew who Nelly was. And I remember when Country Grammar finally caught on to like the world, where like it was on 106 in Park every day, and my classmates in New York are being like, yo, you hear this new song? And I'm like, I've been listening to this shit. So it's one of those things. When you see that person go from like, not necessarily like unknown to blowing up, but just more like you tap in early.
Yeah.
And you see, like, that's like Russ. You listen to Russ?
Russ, yeah, he's from Jersey.
I was on Russ's SoundCloud at the beginning when it was uploading songs.
That's how he
when
came
he
out.
first started and he first came
started.
up that way. I heard 99. I just remember the beat coming on. Dun, 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 dun. And I was like, whoever this is, I got to find out because this beat is fire. I look it up, and all I can see is Russ. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then come to find out, he writes and produces his own shit. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's dope.
Day.
Yo, literally mad low views and numbers and plays and all that stuff. And then, boom, he blows up into this fucking,
through SoundCloud.
So, like, I
but
feel
he did admit that he boosted a lot of his shit.
Of course he did. But, like,
he invested like 60,000 or something.
That's one thing that I feel really good about with Sweatpants and Dirty Dunks. And I think that's why I say I'm retired as a rapper. Because those earlier projects, like the Sleep On Me EP and A Letter to My Fans, all the little shit that I put out, or beat tapes, I used to put out beat tapes. All of that stuff was me in that, like, somebody's going to hear this and think I'm mad good, you know, vibe. Yeah. Then when Sweatpants and Dirty Dunks came about, it was more like, yo, like, I'm truly expressing through the art, and I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm going to give it
what
all
it does.
regardlessly.
Yeah, so once I put it out, if it does big numbers, great. I mean, I got a line in there that says is it in there? That when I say that when I got some albums sold, they'll say it's only gold, and I'm like, shit. I hope I get it. If not, I won't sweat it, because like the message for me was important to get out, and if people receive it really well, then great. But if not, then yo, I still put a lot of energy and effort into it. I put it out, and it's there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
do you have any projects that you're working on currently, like production wise?
Besides the Make an Album,
Future.
You know, no, not really. I will say I'm gonna switch up the approach from the podcast, like me talking into the camera type of situation, to possibly doing a DJ stream.
You stream on Twitch and stuff?
I used to do it a little bit more back in the day. I never really did it consistently enough to build up a following.
YouTube
but we just signed a new lease on the crib, and we moving stuff around.
Yeah.
What I'm really gonna try to do is like one of those apartment DJ set stream type of things.
Yeah.
Keep like 15 to 20 people.
And
max.
let me know. I'll post it on my story and everything. People
You'll pull up. You'll pull up. We're gonna have you pull up.
Yeah, I'll come.
Hell yeah.
And I'll be live too. Shit.
My girl DJs too a little bit. Like she learned. You know, I taught her as I was growing up and learning. She was kind of next to me. So
and put on the page.
We're gonna do it. I think our DJ name is gonna be a DJ Mom and Dad.
That's fire. I think that's cool.
A little back to back with wifey in the crib. You know, we'll do something like that.
Shout out to that. Shout out to love.
So you know, I'd say I'm working on that, and I'm working on that Make an Album Bitch folder. But honestly, I'm working on Nugget Spot. Stay tuned. Yeah. I'm working on Nugget Spot. Like I wanna see that back to where it should be. Yeah. And it
will.
The DJ gigs as they come along, like I'll be happy to take them. You know.
Yeah.
The weddings are usually the ones that are willing to pay the rate.
Isn't it like wedding season right now? Kind of like the fall?
I never know. They always say that at different parts of the
year.
Like,
it's like weird. But I think it's like September, October. But then people get married all times of the year.
Yeah, exactly. All times of the year. Yeah, I've done a winter wedding.
I'm gonna keep you in mind because people be hitting me up for random ass shit.
I love it.
Yeah, so I got you.
Yeah, word of mouth is heavy for me.
Yeah, I got you for sure.
You'll always see me handing out a business card.
Guys, if you need a DJ, tap in. I know that y'all all be having events. Y'all all be going to events. Y'all, a bunch of bosses are watching Sabrosa podcast. Yeah. So tap in. Book him. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me. The spot is dope.
You.
The show is dope. I've been watching too, so now I get to see myself on there. I'm like, hey, okay.
Thank you for coming. We're in Sesh House, guys. This is Jay Thursday. Please let everybody know where they can follow you.
Yeah, of course. At Jay Thursday on pretty much everything. JAY Thursday. Not Friday, not Sunday. That's like the most common joke I hear. Ooh, Jay Thursday on a Tuesday. Like, nah, it's just JAY Thursday. You should find me on probably Instagram is probably where you're going to see the most consistent shit.
Bet. All right, guys, you already know. Make sure you follow him. Thank you for coming on the Sabrosa podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. We're holding it down at the Sesh House. Y'all already know what time it is. I'm Sabrosa Steph, your host. Another episode down of the Sabrosa podcast.
In the books.
Stay tuned. We got a lot of things coming for y'all. And peace.